Spoiler warning. The following video contains spoilers for the board game Role Player Adventures. And some whining, but mostly spoilers. Thank you. Hey there, folks. Welcome to day 30 of my year-long journey into the realm of solo board gaming. We have an entire week dedicated to Role Player Adventures. Role Player Adventures is a game by Keith Matejka and James Ryan. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing either of those names. And essentially, it takes the role player concept, which is the creating of a character is the most fun part of an RPG, and actually gives it the RPG to go with. Now, we are using one of the pre-constructed characters, Ivory Veritas, a construct enchanter, and I will say haunting artwork on the portrait, and as well as all the other portraits. There's a lot in here. There's one for each of the races that you have within the game. Including, so I knew that there were a bunch of regular ones. I did not know that you could also be a frogkin or a minotaur or a whatever that is, a kika. But then there's also a number of characters that are already created for the game, and I love the artwork on them. This is some amazing artwork throughout the game, and it makes me feel like I want to go back just to play as these characters or do more with these characters. But right now I'm playing as a construct. Which means I'm a robot, essentially. We're going to do, this is going to be a very spoiler-heavy week, so if you don't want spoilers for Role Player Adventures, please skip ahead just to the start of the next week, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm going to do all 10 games. I think because I have set up the game, and there are 10 chapters, I might actually do all 10 chapters, because I'd hate to start it and then just pick it up at some future point, potentially next year. So this may be a lengthy one. Because there's also no winning and losing in this game, I'm skipping the little record that I put at the bottom, so it's going to stay static for until I'm done with Role Player, and then when we pick up with another game, I'll take it from there. We've got set up Adventure 2. This is Terran's Trophy by James Ryan. Previously in the earlier chapter, we defeated an orc. We got some titles. We got Rogue's Accomplice and Revealer of Secrets. There are ways for you to keep your progress, track your progress in a campaign. I'm not doing that because I've literally not taken this away. So we're going to keep that there. I did beef up my character a little bit. I gave my character a little bit extra dice, so now we have 4 dice per battle. That's going to be helpful. And a little bit more in terms of the options in terms of items that I can use to help manipulate dice roll. I did do a little bit more research into a little more reading about how things are supposed to work, so I won't seem quite as befuddled as I was in the first game. Namely, the biggest thing I did not realize, and I don't think I ever went over it, this health right here, that's 16, that's the number of stamina cubes you can have over here. So every time that you saw, and that's why I was getting confused. During combat and during things like that, I was seeing, like, put stamina cubes over here. I'm like, why? What's that doing? If you ever get to 16 or more, your character's exhausted. And that's something to try to avoid. We have let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to not do too many voices as we go through, because I think that they'll probably get a little on the annoying side. And there are other playthroughs of people who are doing Role Player Adventures as well. Definitely worth checking those out. But for now, we are going to start with Your Adventure Begins. All right. The Dragul invasion has ended, but your regiment marches north into the swamps, where the Dragul continue to plot against Nalos. While your fellow soldiers head to battle, you've been sent to the halfling town of Jolev on orders from King Terran to fetch the head of a giant troll. The coast here is lined with grassy bluffs and sandy beaches. A light breeze carries the smell of the sun-warmed sea. There is a slight smokiness in the air, and you recall with keen anticipation Jolev's reputation for producing the finest flavored hams in all of Nalos. Place your party marker at A. We're there. Read entry A. If we have some keywords, if there's no XP, yada yada, there is XP, so we're going to collect it and can then continue reading. Standing alone in the town square, the mayor welcomes you to Jolev. Sorry for this humble greeting, he says, but everyone is in hiding. He gestures around, and you see that boards cover the windows of every shop and the blacksmiths. Several second-floor shutters are cracked open so that curious eyes can watch you. Thanks heavens for the King's Guard, shouts the mayor, hoping his citizens will hear. We'll place our troubles in your capable hands. The mayor exit. Hey! Windows closed. The blacksmith's hammer rings out a lonely sound. As you cross the empty cobblestone square, you find an old staff sling. Reveal Discovery Card 93. One of the other things I realized also is that party items like this are meant to go off to the side here. You're not going to be able to see them over there, so I'm going to put them down here. Probably right there. That seems like a good spot. If there is only one character in your party, go to A7. All right. There's only one character in my party, so we're going to go to A7. We're going to skip a bit here. You interview the blacksmith Rose and notice that she wears a ring with an eye-shaped insignia. You recognize it as the mark of the Starlit Door, a secretive group researching the ancient mysteries of Nalos. Rose tells you that young Esther Dungrass has gone missing. Many fears that she was taken by the troll. The Dungrass farm lies along the western road. Esther was last seen at the beach to the east. Over there. Are you really planning to fight the giant troll alone? She asks skeptically. Then she pulls something from a chest in the back of the shop. This charm isn't much in the way of protection, but it's all I have for now. Come back later and I'll have something more for you. Find all runic armor cards in the armor deck. Shuffle them and reveal one. Add that card to your hand. Return the remaining cards to the armor deck. All right, so we're going to need the armor deck here. That's these cards here. We need all the runic. So we got a runic pendant, runic crown, runic amulet, runic signet, runic bracelet. And I'm hoping... Oh, runic necklace. And that's it. Okay. And my character's actually wearing 2 different mystic items, which is nice, because you can count those as a single play. You don't need to worry about running over your play limit. You can just, if you have all 4 of them, you can play all 4. And they basically allow you to re-roll a blue or green dice, which is really nice. Let's go ahead and reveal that. We have the runic necklace, which allows me to flip a green dice to its opposite side. All right, so we're going to put those back on top. Reveal title card 12. Those are the rare item cards. I don't want those. I want this. Title card 12 is probably You Stupid Idiot. Either that or it's a Legend of Zelda reference. Take this, it's dangerous to go alone. Essentially, that's what's happening here. Smith's Hammer. Rose, the halfling blacksmith, welcomed you to Joliv and offered to sell you weapons in her shop. She wore a mysterious ring with insignia of the Starlit Door. So we'll go ahead and put that there. Use an item or move to another location. So I think our best bet is to start onward towards the ancient chapel, and then we'll head to... We can either go to the beach where Esther was last seen, or we can then go to the farm. So our first, the only thing that we can really do is go this way. There's no real point in using an item at this point, because what are we going to do? Shoot Rose? So I think our first encounter, we're going to come across this, is 4. Now for encounters, there is a whole separate deck here, a whole separate thing here. Tome of Encounters, and I have to... Every time I knock this cable over here, I have to make sure I didn't just twist the whole thing again, because that was a little embarrassing last time. So, Terran's Trophy. We'll just go ahead and keep this open to this for now. 2-4, Adventure 2-4. I think, right? That's the way this works. Let's see. If you have title Aid to Ogre, Adventure 2-5. So Aid to Ogre was a title that we could have gotten in the previous one if we had helped out the ogre. But we decided not to. We decided to help... because it made it clear that the ogre, while attempting to communicate with us, was still somebody who was... basically committed war crimes and was trying to profit from his war crimes. At least that's how I read it. As you turn the bend in the road, you are confronted by a gang of local halflings, armed with short swords and pitchforks. "You there!" they call. "What business have you here?" Their leader, a plump, gray-haired woman, tells you that a human stranger stole a pig from her farm, one that had a black spot in the shape of a swan. With giant trolls and pig thieves on the loose, we decided to patrol the countryside looking for anything unusual. And you look very unusual indeed. These halflings are spoiling for a fight. Mob rule of this sort is strictly forbidden by law. So you can tell them that you are Kingsguard and you are here on an important mission. That's going to require some constitution and charisma. I've got a couple dice in that area. It involves green and purple dice. And I think I've got some ways to manipulate green overall, so it might not be the worst thing in the world. Or draw your weapons and order them to disband, and that is a fight. And that goes to Adventure 215. So we're going to say that we're on the we're here in this part of the Kingsguard. We are on an important mission. That is going to be 214. That looks like it's going to be a skill check of some sort. They don't seem receptive to your claim initially. Kingsguard? Here? We haven't seen a member of the King's anything in well over a year. These halflings will not be easy to convince. If your crown, and that is the member of the King's favor, is 1 or higher, each player adds 1 stamina to any attribute row from the supply, ignoring the usual limit. Now, we get to do a skill check, and that is going to be Speechcraft 1. So, first of all, we're going to add... Oh, and I found out that I was watching somebody else's video. These are supposed to be 5 stamina, and the small ones are supposed to be 1 stamina. But then there's also these little things for 5 cubes, and there's one for... Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get why you would have such very difficult to distinguish items representing the same thing. So technically, these should all be smaller. We're not going to worry about that. If you see one of these here, it is a 1. If I need to do a 5 here, I will do a 5. We're going to go ahead and add 1 to Constitution, so that we have 2 there. And now we get to do a skill check. That's going to be Speechcraft 1. So let's go ahead and pull open the skill book. Skill check 1. So for this, we are going to need, as far as I can tell, 1 white dice, which is Wisdom, 1 purple dice, which is Charisma, and 1 green dice, which is... That is green, isn't it? Yeah, that's green. And 1 green dice, which is Constitution, or it can be another Charisma. So right now, I think what I need to do is I need to add purple, intelligence, nope, not intelligence, Constitution, sorry, and wisdom. We'll add 1 of each of these, and then basically by doing these 3 things, we're going to get dice of those color. So that is going to be a purple, a white, and a green. There we go. Now, because our play limit is 4, we get to draw 1 more dice. Or because the dice limit on this, dice limit on this is 4, we get to add 1 more dice. If we cover up either of these 2 dice, we'll get an experience point, whether or not regardless of whether we pass this or not. All right, so we got a blue, which is not the most helpful thing in the world, but let's go ahead and roll. Let's see how we do. So we have a 3 for there, we have a 5 for there, we have a 6 for there. So we do get that one. That's nice. All right, so let's take a look and see what we can do here. For the white one, we want to lower that by 1. So Resolute is nice. Resolute is, I have to spend it, but it allows me to take a 3 or a 4 and treat it as any color. So that doesn't really help me that much, though, because that's not good. Never mind that. This allows me to treat any dice as either purple or red. That doesn't help. Manipulate, I can take a blue or white dice and then turn it to the other side. That's also not going to help. The Mystic Robes allow me to re-roll. This is, I think, what I want. Spellbook is going to allow me, this goes into discard. If it had a little arrow on it, it would go into, and I realize you probably cannot see that. So I'm going to try to make the screen here a little bit bigger. See if I can get a little bit more here. There we go. That should be good. Okay. So the spell book will allow me to adjust a dice by 1. So boom. There we go. Now, I've still got a few more cards that I can do. I can do 3 more cards. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a purple, one of these to be this. And I think what I might be able to do, let's take a look here. Do I have any way to adjust? Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting combination of things to do. But it does look like I can do it. Yeah, in fact, I can use Manipulate and Weak combined to do this. So Weak allows me to take a look at any dice of any color and turn it into a purple. So this blue dice is now a purple, can be used to cover a purple thing. Manipulate allows me to flip a purple dice to its opposite side. With a combination of Weak and Manipulate, I now have a purple too. I've completed the skill check. So initially, when I was first playing this a couple times, I was like, how on earth are you going to do this? How is this going to be possible? Because you're trying to get one number out of 6 and hope that it's the right one. But it does start to feel like your skills and your weapons and your traits give you more ability to have greater options when you're trying to get specific totals. More to the point, we've passed. We get 2 more XP. We can take these dice, throw them back into the pool, move the skill check over there. We have passed our skill check. We go to, they agree to let me go, so we'll go to 219. The halflings consult with one another and decide to trust you. All right, their leader says, if you really are here to help, we could use you. We do have a giant troll problem. And a pig thief problem, says one of the others, and all present voice their agreement. You tell them that you will help any way you can, and they let you pass. Gain 1 XP. And we can now rest if we want to. So, rest. Now, technically, this is not flipped over, and I forget when it's supposed to get flipped over. But more importantly, I think for the rest portion of it, and I want to make sure that I do the rest properly here. Where is my instruction? Where are the instructions for how to play this game? It's such a lengthy module. I don't know how to play this game. Rest. Reference. Thank you for not putting your reference in alphabetical order. Resting, page 11. There we go. During an adventure, the party will need to stop and rest at times. In the storybook, the party will often find this choice indicator. The rest token on the party journal must be face up, and I forget, and you must have at least 1 XP, and I forget when you actually turn this rest token over, because I think that it's actually kind of important. I'm going to go ahead and treat this as a rest situation. Complete the following steps. Spend 1 or more XP. Return the spent XP from the party journal to the supply. So we can return 1. We've only got 3 in there. I'll take the chance that this might not be right. 3. Okay, good. Did we get to return these? Now we had an extra 1 in Constitution. Actually, I think because we're now in a rest situation, I do have to get rid of this one. Because that was specifically for that adventure. Player whose class card is face up, flips face down and flips it face up. It's face up right now. You return all bonus play tokens back there, and return all cards from the spent space. So the discards would have gone back anyway after the speech check, I think. And then we flip this over face down. So I'm not sure when that gets flipped over. That's actually probably something I should really figure out, because that seems to me fairly important. I can't rest after every single encounter, right? Skill check resolution. That's when you turn it face up. Okay, so yes, there is a spot in the rulebook where it says that I was supposed to have turned it face up at the end of the skill check. So that is important to know. All right, so rest. You can now move on to the next location. We're going to move that 4 up there. Ancient Chapel, B. Time to go back to the storybook. If you have the keyword discover, B10. If there's no XP at this location, B1. Otherwise, collect the XP from this location and continue reading. Ancient buildings of Nalos are held sacred by law. No trespassing is permitted and looters are imprisoned. So you're surprised to hear sounds coming from the inside. Colorful splashes of light filter through fractured stained glass in the chapel's vaulted ceiling. A Durgolian bell hangs high above the marble altar, which faces rows of stone benches. Rounding the altar, you find a muscular gnome, wooden mallet in hand, standing over a door in the ground that has no obvious lock or latch. You can see that the door is made of Durgolium, just like the chest at Blacklake. The gnome speaks in a low voice. Just in time, he says. Give me a hand with this door. He has guts, inviting the king's guard to help him loot an ancient site. The gnome stands to offer you his mallet, and as he does so, you notice a branded mark on his arm in the shape of an eye. It seems he is a member of the Starlit Door. Perhaps he can teach you the secrets of this chapel, or perhaps he conspires against the king's peace. Arrest the gnome for trespassing, offer to help him open the door. So I'm torn here. So it's worth noting, and this should be on a 0, the Starlit Door favor. Starlit Door is one of the 3 factions that we can help out with. We can either help the King's favor, Starlit Door, or the Durgul. And I'm not sure if it's necessarily one or the other, but I think because Rose, I think we want to help Rose, which means I think we actually have to help this guy. Offer to help him open the door. B3. The gnome smiles and hands you his mallet. I knew it. Adventures after my own heart. Gimlix is my name. And you raise your Starlit Door favor by 1. He bows in the traditional gnomish greetings and steps aside. You bring the mallet down with great force upon the door, which rings out with a lovely tone. As the sound echoes from the chapel, you hear a faint resonance from the bell above. Hear that, says Gimlix. Bell and door are both made from Durgolium. The secret of one must lie in the other. Now, if any player has the Gray Matter Object card, B7. The Gray Matter Object card was something that we found when we did a little additional playthrough through the first adventure. So that is already coming into play. So B7, we get to go to B7 instead. You are sure that Gimlix would be interested in the jar of translucent gray material that you found at Blacklake. He will likely know something about its origin. At the same time, the gnome has a mischievous look about him. You wonder what his Starlit Door's friend want with these objects. So now here's a question. Do I want to show him the gray matter or not? I don't mind helping the Starlit Door, but I think I have to be cautious about how much I help them. I'm not going to go all in on people that I don't know. So I think it's going to be keep it a secret, which means we go to B8. Gimlet takes the mallet back and adds it to his pack with a sigh. Sadly, no one knows how to make Durgolium anymore, he says. The closest thing we have is Elvish silver, but even the elves can only produce crude imitations of work like this. Gimlet stands and shoulders his pack. I have an appointment to keep in Undercity. I leave this mystery to you. If you do solve it, look us up. You can tell anyone in my order that you know Gimlix is a friend. He shows you the branded mark on his arm once again. The eye watches over us all, he says cryptically, and bids you farewell. Reveal title card 7. Friend of Gimlix. So we have that as a title now. And I'm not going to read it because it's basically just a recap of what happened before. So we didn't use a skill check. We didn't do combat. So technically speaking, this should be like this. We've not rested. We don't need to rest. There's nothing to rest for. We can use an item. We can move to another location. So we'll move to another location. And I think what we want to do is we want to move to the beach. Which means we're going to have an encounter again. Encounter number 2. Flip back over here. Adventure 2. As you make your way along a well-worn dirt road, you hear a cry for help in the distance. You race to the sound and find a halfling couple pinned beneath an overturned cart. They beg for your help, saying a group of bandits attacked them and stole their pony and all their gold. They identify themselves as the Dunegrass family and mention that they are eager to get back to looking for their lost daughter. A few feet from them, you spy their weapon, an expensive-looking short sword lying on the ground. "Please, don't take that," they plead. "It's the only defense we've got." So if you have any of the titles, Hated by Troll, Troll Foe, Troll's Alley, or Troll Slayer, you have to go to a different adventure. Assist the halflings and chase down the bandits. It's a fight, adventure D7. Leave them and take their short sword, D8. I don't think that we're an awful person, so we are going to help them out, which means that we are going to have some fighting to do. After freeing the dune grasses, you easily catch up to the bandits in a shallow vale among the hills. They outnumber you, and they are ready for a fight. Combat. Gang of Bandits. Okay, so now for combat, we're going to need these cards here. We've got bandits. And they're modified with Gang of. Which means that the first combat round, I'm going to have one less dice to work with. Fortunately, I'm still going to have 3. Let's go ahead and put that there. We get a round combat marker for the round. That goes there, which means we don't get anything. Now, as this goes on, they're going to steal money from us, which is not good. So we do want to try to beat these guys as quickly as we can. Now, no matter what, we're going to have to go into the second round. Most likely going to have to go into the second round because we really don't have any way to really do this properly. We'll go ahead and use... Oh, there should not be that many. There we go. That should be that. Sorry, I had that wrong. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use 1 red. We're going to use 1 white. We're going to use 1... I guess we'll use 1 of these. So that's going to give us 3 dice. Now, normally we would have a combat dice limit of 4. However, because of this, we're only going to have 3. However, we're going to be able to pull some extra dice as well. So I don't know why I'm fiddling around here. So blue. There we go. Purple. White. Okay, so our first roll is this. And this is what I was getting wrong about combat before. Because I've spent this, I can't really choose which dice I'm going to spend in the next turn without spending more stamina from here, and I don't want to go over 16. So first things first, I've got a 6, a 3, a 1, and a 2. Basically, the wrong colors there. Now, I can also spend the gray matter and get myself an extra dice. So I might be able to actually defeat them on the first turn. 6. Actually, crud. We're going to keep that 6. I just realized I have something else that I got on the last... Yeah, Gather Power. I'm sorry. Gather Power is a spend, and I should have used that because I can take any dice and make it a 5, and boom, I've got the 5 here. Now for the 5, that means I'm going to... I want to make sure I have these symbols correct. I think I actually gain a stamina back. Oh, each player adds the indicated stamina from the supply to their fatigue box. So in this case, I do get 1 stamina added to the fatigue box. But I do also get 1 gold. All right, so now it's a matter of trying to get the rest of these to be what I want. For this 3 or 4 resolute dice, I can make that anything. And I've already played 2 cards, and so I can play 3 more cards. So I really need to be careful here. Because I can't just play these all willy-nilly. I can use Spellbook. That'll get me the white one. That's also kind of nasty because that is 3 more stamina. And now 2 gold. I have 2 more cards that I can play. I can play the bonus play icon, bonus play token to get a 5th card down, but I want to see what I can do here. Did I do that right? Forgot to adjust this a little bit. Is that really the best thing I could have done? Probably not. I'm probably misplaying this. So that should have been, I should have made that a 2 first. I can do 2 more cards here. I have one that allows me to treat any dice as a red. But I also have a manipulate dice. That's not going to do me any good. I can do enchant to get 1 more 4 and make it a 3 of any color. And that's going to use up that's going to spend these. I'll have squat in the way of manipulation for the next round. And I kind of want to use this on the 3 red. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to get to pull 1 more dice. I should not have played the gray matter is essentially what's going on. But that's 2 more dice that get spent. We're going to end up using our bonus play icon. That goes into the fatigue. But I do get a red. I'm just going to go ahead and pull a red dice. With the combination of those, allow me to... Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Pull in a 4. Oh, no, that's not going to actually do the trick yet. Sorry. Sorry. How do I get that to be a 3? Raise the purple by 1. Which I cannot do. Yeah, unfortunately I'm just not seeing it. I think I'm going to have to hold off on doing anything else here and just take the damage. I'm sorry, I'm not... So again, I'm doing some of this wrong. I was taking the damage here, but I'm not supposed to take the damage from these. When I cover them, I'm just supposed to get the reward, so I've got the 3 gold. The stamina comes in if I leave them uncovered. So I'm going to leave these out because I'm about to get damaged. But I can't do anything with the rest of these dice. So, we're going to have a 3 damage and 2 damage. So I will take 5 damage total. So now at 8. That's not good. And now we're going to go to round 2. And they're going to take 1 of my gold, essentially. Alright, I'm just going to move it forward 1. And now we're just going to get 4 dice. We're not going to be able to really do anything else. But I can add some dice and do some manipulation. I'll have my 4 play limit, so I should be able to get through this round. We'll see how it goes. So I've got a 4 here. And I think... Is there anything I can do with that 4? Surprisingly limited on what I can do, believe it or not. Yeah, okay, so manipulate, I can play that for 1. Flip that for 3. I can use resolute as a second card, and that will cover the red. That will give me 1 experience. And now I need 2 more. I can play Mystic Robes. That'll allow me to... What's funny is I do have weak. That would have allowed me to get the red. If I did that for the red, I don't know if there's anything else I could do to really get that to work right. We're going to play the Mystic Robes, and we're going to hope that we actually get something within the 3. So the first one that we're going to play allows us to reroll, and we can play any number of the armor 4. We got 4, that's all we needed. Because we can play our wand, and that will make it a 3, and now we've defeated them, and that covers up 2 gold. So good, don't have to do any more revisionist, retconning. Horrible, horrible stuff. Horrible, horrible. Cheater, cheater. Never beat her. And that was not the storybook. We want the adventure. We were in combat. You best them and place them under arrest. 2-9. Even though the bandits outnumber you, dispose of them quickly. You return to the site of the overturned cart and give the Dungrasses back their coin. But they have already gone. Gain 1 gold. And I think at the end of combat, and I want to make sure that this is correct, because I really do need to rest here. Combat, 14, end of combat. End of combat, you do flip over your rest token. So now I can rest. So I gain 1 gold. I don't think I've done that already. We'll go ahead and move that up there. 2-9, I can now rest and move to the next location on our path. So we're going to rest. We're going to get rid of these first. We have a lot of stamina to deal with. So as much as I loved getting all that XP, which was really 1 XP, thank you. That's generous. Gang of is going to go here. And so we spent 2, so we're going to get 2 dice. Five. We get to restore 5. 3, 1, 2, and 2 more. So we're kind of stuck with 3 of these. But during resting, we get to restore all these cards. Again, just going to make sure here. 1 XP or more, draw dice, return stamina. So yeah, technically we're supposed to go 5 back to the supply, but then you fill up all your attribute dice. Or all your attributes. That's something I forgot to take advantage of, is my ability there. Return all bonus play, and then you return all cards from your spend space to the hand space. So one thing I'm not too sure of is when do the discards come back, and I think the discards come back at the end of a skill check and combat. So it's something to keep in mind. That was an unfortunately low number. But we are here, and we're going to go to the beach. Where is... Here we go. Can now move to the next location. If there's no XP at this location, C1. Otherwise, collect the XP. If you have any of the keywords lost, bruise, or blood, C2. Otherwise, continue reading. A small fire burns on the beach, but there's no sign of anyone in sight. You find no sign of the giant troll and no sign of Esther, the missing Dunegrass girl. Suddenly you hear rough voices belting out a ballad of Dragul invasion. Following it through the source to its source, you uncover 2 stinking drunk halflings lying in the damp sand beneath an overturned rowboat. They must be fishers by trade, but they smell equally of drink and the sea. "Hey, don't you know there's a troll about?" one yells at you. Then he whispers, "You ought to be less conspicuous," at which point both halflings burst out laughing. They seem to be enjoying themselves, but they are also vulnerable here. It isn't safe to be intoxicated while Dragul stalk the beach. As King's Guard, you have some duty to intervene. Then again, the beach appears empty. What's the harm in letting them have their fun? So we can either challenge them to a drinking contest, which requires strength and constitution, with neither of which we have. We can sing them a song. That's going to be a skill check involving wisdom and charisma. So we're okay there somewhat. Or the beach is not safe. Help them get home. That's also charisma and dexterity. I think we're going to try to help get them home. We're going to do the C5. You introduce yourself as King's Guard and instruct the fishers to go home. They don't seem as impressed or as compliant as you'd hoped. "Who are you?" one of them asked in a challenging tone. "The Immortal Knight? We fought in the war too, you know." The halflings quickly rise to their feet, eager to show you their strength. "Come on then," one shouts. "For Taron, for Nolas." They throw surprisingly quick and powerful punches. Skill check. Quickness. I'm either going to get hit or I'm going to dodge. That's kind of irritating. Alright, so we're going to do quickness here. Quickness is dexterity and charisma, so we're going to go ahead and use one of each of these and then 2 of the others. We got 4 dice total. Alright, point. So, oh, and I need to pull specific ones. I need to pull a black one for dexterity and a purple one for charisma, and those other two are what they are. Go ahead and roll. All right, so fortunately the 1 is a purple. For these other 2, I now have to figure out how to manipulate them to cover that up. Plus I get the XP for the 1. And I've got to play a 4. All right, so one move I can do is I can cast Enchant and Resolute and just simply have a 4 of any color that I want. So I'll go ahead and pull that out. For the 6, on the other hand, I need to flip that dice. Now I can manipulate a white dice and then have a white dice be anything, but that's not going to do me any good. I think I'm not going to be able to get that one. I could use the gray matter to pull an extra dice, but that's not going to help. That's irritating. Is there anything else I can do? I can use that to flip that. This allows me to do white as that white as any other color. I think I'm going to fail the skill check. I can go ahead and try the gray matter and just get one more dice and roll it and see what happens. Maybe I'll get lucky. Or I can remember that I'm an enchanter and I can do this. Return a dice from the dice pool to the bag. Increase another dice in the dice pool by the value of the returned dice. 6, I complete the skill check. Jeez, I need to make sure that I am taking into account that I have a special ability as an enchanter. However, I do dodge the blow and stop them, so that takes me to C10. You catch hold of the halflings before they can land a blow and they yield to you. My apologies, says one. I may be a bit slippery at the moment, but I can assure you that I served Nalos with dignity. Then he produces a map from one of his many pockets and hands it to you. Here, this will get you to Longtooth Island, he tells you. We were out there today and saw shiny things floating in the air. Take our boat if you'd like. The King's Guard should investigate. You inquire about the troll and the missing Dunegrass girl, but the fishers say they haven't seen either. But to be fair, we've been under the boat. Reveal Discovery Card 2 and place 1 XP on it. So, we're going to take Discovery Card 2. This is exciting. And this is going to go here. We can go ahead and put all these away. And play an XP. We can now use an item, rest, or move to another location. So, if I investigate Longtooth Island, I feel like that is just asking for trouble. I do need to rest. After the skill check, we were able to rest. So, we're going to spend 2 XP again. So, we just earned those, but unfortunately, we're going to have to spend those. Let's just do 1. I think 1's fine. Three of these go back here, and now we fill this back up. So we go 1 and 2, and I just put those in the wrong spot. I put those with the XP dice, XP cubes. There we go. We can flip our class card over, and all our spent items go back into our inventory. All right. So what do? Do we continue on? Do we go investigate Longtooth Island? Let's go investigate Longtooth Island. I think that we have to... No, because the priority is the troll, right? Let's head this way. We could go this way, see if we get a different encounter here, but I think we're going to go this way. We're going to do one more encounter. We have encounter 1. You don't have to encounter everything. You can avoid it if you want to, but we're here to adventure. We're not here to lollygag. You hear a horrible squeal and run to discover a pig lying in a ravine. It must have fallen and broken its leg. It writhes in pain and fear. The pig is pink with dark spots, one of which resembles a black swan. You cannot see the whole ravine clearly because from where you stand because of a rocky overhang that obscures most of the ravine floor. You hear a rustling sound coming from beneath it. So we have, see if you can help the pig, which is a fight, or investigate the overhang, which is dexterity, convention, a constitution, skill check. I'm going to investigate the overhang first. I know the animal's in pain. I feel bad that I'm leaving the animal in pain, but I think I want to investigate first. As you approach the overhang, you notice the pincer of a giant scorpion. It must have stung the pig as bait, hoping to catch a farmer in its trap. You duck behind a rock and wait. In time, the creature will need to sting its bait again. If you remain hidden, you can take the scorpion by surprise. Skill check, concealment 1. So we're going to pull up some concealments. I think I did the right thing there. Okay. We're going to need, from the looks of it, green. Is that meant to be? That's any color, isn't it? I think I've been mistaking any color for green. So that's going to make things a little bit easier. Nope, that is green. It's a little tough to tell because they have... I think any color is like a dash, but it is difficult to tell. I think that could have been better done. Which makes me wonder if the other one was supposed to be blue. I don't know. Because I thought I've seen some that were like solid purple, or... No, I guess it's green. Weird. I guess the shading is to help distinguish between the two. Nonetheless, it's Constitution and Dexterity. Now I can use both of these, or I can just grab 4 dice and hope for the best. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab 4 dice and hope for the best. Probably a stupid thing to do. Alright, so that's good because that is pretty close to what I need. That's a 5. That just goes right on there. Alright, so the other ones, I got a 4 and a 3. Let's see what I can do here. So the first is, I can treat a 3 as any color. So technically I could take that and just do that. But I don't know if I really want to do that. Let's see, I can't do anything with that. Can't do anything with... I can make this a 3 and then treat it as any color. And then that'll give me the 3 to cover that. And then it's a matter of getting that green down by 1, which I can use the wand for. There we go. Sorry for the sniffles. Okay, so the wand, I'm lowering this down to 2. And that covers my green. Resolute, I'm using this to flip a purple dice and then treat it as any color. All right, and the 4 can just go back. We don't need it. That gives me 2 XP for that. I have completed the skill check. I keep forgetting to turn the rest token over, so hopefully I won't do anything wrong there. But right now the rest token should be over. We have put you put the creature down. Adventure 223. You don't have to wait long before the venom's effect on the pig begins to wear off and the giant scorpion emerges to sting it again. While it is distracted, you approach it from behind and drive your weapon through its head. The pig struggles to its feet again. It looks you in the eye as if to say thank you and then runs off into the hill. You can now rest or move to the next location on your path. And we're going to go ahead and rest, which means we're going to spend 1 XP. Now starting to feel like I'm actually catching up on XP. 3, I get to return these to the here. But more importantly, I can now refresh any attributes. I don't need to. These came here after the skills. These came here after the rest. That is already flipped over, so we're good to go. We can now flip this back over to that. And one is resolved. Now we're going to go off to Dunegrass Farm. This is taking a little bit longer, I think, than the first one, just simply because there's more to do. I'm kind of curious about checking out some of these other locations, though. Dunegrass Farm. If there's no XP at this location, take the XP. At the farmhouse door, you are greeted by a note. Gone to look for Esther. Will return with her or not at all. They've left a shovel leaning against the porch railing. Perhaps it will come in handy. Reveal card, discovery card 74. Got the wrong way here. As you turn to leave, you are met with a startling sight. A muscular, 20-foot-tall woman with thick green skin and protruding tusks is grabbing pigs from a nearby pen, snapping their necks with a flick of her thumb, and tucking them into a massive leather sack. Looks like you found that troll. Now, we can attack. We can keep a safe distance and see where she goes, or we can attempt to frighten her into submission. And I think because my character is who it is, has to be careful about trying to attack. But certainly is doable. I'm going to keep a safe distance and see where she goes. You duck behind the cover of the house and watch the troll do her work. After she collects nearly a score of pigs, she hefts the sack over her shoulder and begins to tiptoe away. It's strangely amusing to watch this giant outsized attempt at stealth, yet her pace is quick and her stride is long. You'll need your wits to read her movements and guess at her destination. If your Dragul is 1 or higher, each player adds 1 stamina to their wisdom attribute row, ignoring the usual limit. Now we do a skill check of observation. All right, observation level 1. Just make sure it's still level 1. And we're going to need a white and a green. So Constitution and Wisdom, we'll go ahead and use one of each of these. And then we'll do 2 others. So white and green. And now 2 others. And there's a 4 there, so that 4 is going to be pretty easy just to get, because I have 2 cards that can just give me a 4 of any color. That's not good. Alright, so we got the 4 right away. There we go. And now the 6, I think we can just lower that by 1. Yeah. We have a spell book that will allow me to lower a white by 1, or raise it by 1, so that's gone. We get the 2 XP for that. And now we just need to get this red 5 to something else. And I think one of my dice... bummer. I thought I had something that allowed me to do that. I can, however, do Enchant, Resolute, and Wand. And that combination of 3 cards, which is hitting my limit, will allow me to make a 4 of any color be a green. And that will complete my last one here. Because I can take that 4 green, raise it up by 1, boom, I've got that covered, I have succeeded. That is 4 cards exactly. I could have played 1 more as part of my bonus play. I didn't need to. You read her well and spy her hideout, D5. Following the troll as far as the top of the hill at the edge of the Dunegrass Farm, you watch as she hides herself in the shadow valley between 2 hills and guts the pigs one by one, discarding the entrails. It is a shocking sight, if only because she is able to accomplish the work with a few swipes of her fingernail. With the pigs cleaned and back in her sack, she makes her way quickly down the hills towards a thin plume of smoke rising from the shoreline. Reveal discovery card 31 and place 1 XP. I'm wondering if 31 is already what we pulled. Nope. Shadowy Cave. We have a new card. This is going to go in 3 here. Is that right? That doesn't seem right because it doesn't seem like it actually is part of any existing path. But that does actually work here. Record the keyword sneak, which is our first keyword of the entire thing. Use an item, rest, or move to another location. So because we had to use a fair amount of spent items, we're going to go ahead and rest quickly. We did get to set this to rest before. We're going to rest it again. We're going to go ahead and use 1 XP to roll a dice. 6. This is all cleaned up now. We are good to go. We can now move to another location. So we'll now move to the beach again. C, beach. A small fire burns in the breach, but there's no sign. If there's no XP at this location, go to C1. The beach is quiet and lovely with its curling surf and sun-warmed sand. The fishers have gone home, but their boat remains if you'd like to set sail for Longtooth Island. Now, what we can do is we can either go to the Shadowy Cave or Longtooth Island. We have found the troll. We know that they're in there, and I think that we have to... I don't know. Let's go to Longtooth Island. Let's do that. No, let's deal with the troll first. F is first. F is more important. If there's no XP at this location, and there was supposed to be an XP on there, I forgot to put it there, and now we claim it. If you have the keyword sneak, go to F5. Sneaking up to the cave and peeking in, you see a young halfling girl lying on the cave floor. She appears weak, suffering from some curse or illness. One troll sits near her while another giant troll woman spits pigs to roast on the fire. You can either speak to the troll, that's strength and charisma, which is not good, or draw your weapons and take some heads. And that seems like it's, if I wasn't willing to fight one troll, why am I willing to fight 2 trolls? I think my best bet is to talk to the trolls. So we're going to go to F11. If you're hoping for swordplay, I tend to prefer resolution and talking before actual fight. You present yourself to the trolls, introducing yourself as Kingsguard and offering to parley with them for their lives and the life of the young halfling girl. The trolls have no idea what you're saying. If your Dragul is 1 higher, then you can do something where it's not. And we now need to do a skill check for persuasion, but it's persuasion 2. I'm screwed, aren't I? I am so screwed. Oh, that's not good at all. Okay, so we're gonna need 2 purple. We'll just go ahead and take the 2 purple. We'll need 1 white, and then we're gonna get 1 more dice on top of that. So 2 purple, 1 white. There we go. And now we'll hope for the best here. We've got some cards that we can play. We're going to need all 5 cards, I think. Wow. Oh, dice limit 6. I'm sorry. I get 3 more dice. Oh, that's good. I still have a play limit of... That's good. That's awesome. Yeah, nothing helpful there. I'm going to get tied to a spit, aren't I? This was a stupid idea. Well, the 1's taken care of, at least. The 5 is taken care of. That's actually kind of cool. Let's see. I've got... That 1 can actually cover... I've got weak, which allows me to take this 1 and make it a red. And I get 1 XP for that. I've got resolute, which allows me to take the 3 and use it for that. I'm actually like almost all the way there then. Except the final one is to try to get this last one to be a red, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I think I might have been better off pulling out a 5 and making it... Like if I had used weak instead of on this 3, and I haven't claimed the XP for that, so I'm going to go ahead and say that that's okay. No, because I did that with the 1. So that 3 is there. I do get the XP for that. How do I do this? I need a red 5, and I just don't see any way to do that. I can pull a 5. I'm going to try to pull a 5, and hopefully it will be red. Oh my god! Oh my god! That was really luck. That really was luck. Whoa. I'm sorry. I'm very happy now. Okay, so that goes there. We discard this. Holy moly. We can go ahead and put these back. We've completed the skill check. We've completed persuasion too. And oh my god, I'm just so giddy. They welcome you. F8. I really I cannot believe that worked. The trolls invite you to sit by the fire where they roast pigs seasoned with flakes of purple salt and crushed spices unknown to your palate. The cave fills with an otherworldly aroma that whets your appetite and awakens the halfling girl from her feverish slumber. She confirms that she is Esther Dungrass and introduces the trolls to you as Urka and Songak. They have been kind, Esther says, but she doesn't speak their tongue well enough to explain her situation. When the meal is over, Esther falls back asleep with a smile on her face, but her fever is not as hot as ever. The trolls seem very fond of Esther, almost as if she were their own, but they seem to understand when you say that you must take her away to heal her illness. Before you go, the trolls offer you a gift. I'm ecstatic right now. Like, you have no idea how ecstatic I am. Esther. We get a title. Title 11. And we're going to get a rare card, too. Troll's ally. King Terran sent you to Jolev to fetch the head of a giant troll. You discover 2 trolls, but you've befriended them. The King's Great Hall will be missing this prize, but the trolls will remember your kindness. We're going to get a rare prize of 25. And that is going to be a Drin Taker. That is plus any color. That's actually pretty neat. We lower our Kingsguard by 1. We raise our Dragul by 1, so we're kind of evened ourselves out. We return to party A, and we have to read A5. And if we get kicked out here, I'm going to be bummed as hell. So I really should have done the other one first. Longtooth Island. You find the town healer and leave Esther in their care. Grateful that you have returned the Dunegrass girl, the whole town turns out to celebrate. There is wine and song, good cheer and ham, many, many varieties of the finest hams you have ever had the pleasure to take. The townsfolk celebrate you, and you are begged by all to tell the tale of your heroic victory over the troll that plagued their town. You give them a story that bards can sing for generations, full of daring deeds and more than one untruth. Your celebration lasts late into the night. The next morning you wake early and prepare to wrap up your adventure in Jolev. With the town's troll problem addressed and Esther Dungrass returned to her kin, your mission here is complete, leaving you free to explore the area at your leisure. Your quest is complete. From now on, when given the choice to move to another location, you may instead turn to the end. However, we can now look around Jolev, which is A6, or move to another location. So we'll look around. You stroll through Jolev to the town square. Town is much busier today. Everyone has come back into hiding and returned their normal work. Is that right? Yeah, A6. So we can use an item or we can move to another location. We'll go ahead and move to the ancient chapel first. And we need to rest at some point too, because we just completed combat. So let's rest. We'll use 1 XP. I still can't believe that. I still cannot believe that was successful. 5. Get all our dice back. And that goes there. If there's no XP at this location, go to B1. The ancient chapel is cold and empty. Their Dragolium door Gimlix showed you sits in a multicolored patch of sunlight that filters through the fraction-stained glass. High above the altar hangs a Dragolium bell. We could use an item here, and we've been given some items that we've done nothing with. Right? We've got a shovel, a steel shovel, and a staff sling. I want to see what happens if we use either of these together. So B7493. You try to launch the shovel with your staff sling, but to no avail. However, you get the sense that you might be able to get it to work with some practice. Interesting. Let's go to C. If there's no XP at this location, C1. The beach is quiet. We can use an item, rest, or move to another location. Let's try the steel shovel here, C74. You dig around on the beach for a bit and find no treasure but plenty of crabs to eat. You strike a fire and have a quick snack. Each player return 1 stamina from your fatigue box to the supply. Oh, that's kind of nice. We can use another item or move to another location. We'll move to Longtooth Island. We're not going back to the shadowy cave. Let's see. If there's no XP at this location, otherwise collect the XP. We collect the XP. The halfling's boat is small but sturdy. You row your way out to the sandy island, topped with a bit of grass and a few palm trees. There is a strange stillness here. No gulls hover overhead. No crab scuttles across the beach. Even the wind seems to still as you step up onto the shore. At the island center, a shining ball of Elvis silver floats in midair. You can grab it, but then you fight. And I guess we can't really move to another location, so let's fight. Reaching for the floating ball of Elvish silver, you find something thick surrounding it, thick enough to stop your hand before it reaches the prize. You try to push forward, but the strange substance surrounding the ball drips heavily around your arm and begins to squeeze, pulling you inward and sucking away your weapons. Reveal the ooze enemy card. All right. Place 1 weapon card from your hand or spend space under the ooze. So my weapons are the spellbook and wand, and I think I'm going to have to give up on the spellbook. That seems bad. All right, so let's go ahead and fight this ooze. All right, so looks like we want a charisma, a dexterity, and a constitution. Plus, we're going to get 1 more dice. So first of all, make sure that you're pulling the right color dice. I got a purple. We'll need a round tracker to indicate that we are on the first round. Let's see what we can cover here. So the first is 4. That just covers right there. The purple is really high. That 4, I need to be a 3. That 6, I need to be a 5. So let's talk a little bit about what we've got. Can I do anything with that black one? Weak allows me to look at anything as a purple or red, and then I can flip a purple and red. So yeah, I'm going to do manipulate and weak, and that will allow me to convert this 6 into a 1 that's purple, and that will cover that, and I get 1 gold. And that's 2 of the cards that I can play. That 5 would have been nice to turn that into another color. I really need to get that 4 down. I can also pull, thanks to the special weapon that I just got, which, where did I put it? Why do I not? Where is it? Here it is. This should not be in here. This should be in here. So I can spend it, and I can get a die of any color that I want. And I'll go ahead and do that. I'll pull a green. Because the green, at least I have some flexibility on. There we go. 5. Cool. Awesome. There we go. So now I've got 1, possibly 2 more cards that I can play to try to get that to a 3. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anything else I can do. I could try to pull a card out and hope it's a black color. I can't really flip it, unfortunately. I can't add to it. Can't make it higher. That's no bueno. Enchant's not going to make a difference. I'm going to go for a Hail Mary here. I'm going to use the gray matter to pull a dice out. Hopefully it will be a 3. Because if it's a 3, then I can make it any color I want. And unfortunately it's not. So that was kind of a Hail Mary there. So frustrating. Alright, I'm going to end up having to take the damage from this. I'm going to take 2 damage. I'm going to lose an XP because we're going to a second round. But I am going to get to roll my dice again. We're doing 4 dice. We're not pulling any specific colors this time. We do have a black one in there. Yeah, unfortunately, I think because I've got the 3 still, that allows me to be resolute. That 3 becomes any color. I get get 1 more gold. And I defeat the ooze. Yay. You destroy it, E4. You pull your weapons free from the ooze, ripping it apart in the process. There's nothing left of the creature except the ball of elvish silver floating in a stinking pool of muck. Reveal card 85. I do realize, by the way, this is going on as a very long adventure. I thought most of these were going to be like an hour. Apparently not. Ball of elvish silver. And we can mark muck as a keyword. And I think I know where we're using that. Return any cards under the ooze to their owner's hands. And we can now use an item and a rest. So all that goes there. We're going to return the ooze. It's easier just to do it by the number. Let's go ahead and rest. We're at the end of combat, so that should be like that. We're going to use 1 XP. We'll see how many of this we return. 1. That's going to go in there, and then we replete. Fill all of these up to their maximums. And we're going to return all these. Okay, so let's go back to the beach. I think we can just go to another location. Use an item, rest if possible. Technically we can't rest because we're on that. We can move to another location. We'll go to B. And in B we'll use 85, 93 together. With your staff sling, you fling the ball of elvish silver into the Dragolium bell above, which rings out a crisp and lovely sound. Immediately, the Dragolium door slides open, and the earth quakes and the air above fills with crackling green energy. You hurry through the door into an underground chamber. On a pedestal there, you find a gauntlet carved from a single piece of jade, and you slip it into one of the chainmail Dragolium sacks that Tarek gave you. The quakes cease, and the air above is quiet. You take a moment to admire the chamber's walls, which are carved with a scene of the arrival when Azima first brought together many words thousands of years ago through the gate of Brizur Wool. The gate is powered by 6 artifacts, and this gauntlet is one of them. Record the keyword Discover, reveal rare card 28. Jade Gauntlet turns any dice into a 6. Rest or move to another location. I don't think we need to rest again. We didn't do anything. So we're going to go to Jelev and see if we can talk to Rose. If you have the keyword Esther, go to A6. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really do anything there. We could use the Ball of Elvish Silver, I guess. You show the Ball of Elvish Silver to the blacksmith. Well made and great material. Too bad there's only this tiny little ball of it. Each player will return 1 stamina from the fatigue box to your supply. I really don't want to go this way because I don't want another encounter. Let's go back to Dunegrass Farm. I think for each of these we can just simply say we are going to that location and then skipping to the next. Because I think each of these has a move to another location. Oh, if you have the keyword discover, B10. The ancient chapel is cold and empty. The ancient Dragolian floors, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, move to another location. See the beach. Let's see, we go to C1. Move to another location. Dunegrass Farm. Let's see. Go to D1. The farm is noisy with pigs, but empty of halflings. It's kind of weird. You'd figure they'd come back at this point. Try using the shovel here. 74. The only thing that you can use the shovel for is cleaning out the pig pens. Is that how you want to spend your time? Yes, please choose a player to do the work. Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's pig some shit. You find an empty pig pen and clean it out. Add 3 stamina to the fatigue box. That's awesome. Well, fortunately, we don't have to worry too much about that. We can go to the next. Could do this last encounter, but I think at this point we can just simply mark this as finished. I think we are done. We can now go to the end. With your mission resolved, you make preparations for the journey back to Sabek, the capital of Nalos. After a breakfast of ham and eggs, you prepare to make your way south. Which titles did you earn? Smith's Hammer. Before leaving town, you drop in on the blacksmith's shop, but Rose is gone. A new smith works the forge. Yeah, she left last night, he tells you. Took only a small pack with her and headed south. Said she wasn't coming back. You reason that if Rose headed south, perhaps she has business in the capital. Perhaps your paths will cross again in Sabek. If you have both Duntum's Abander and Captor of Gimlex, neither of which we have, friend of Gimlex, the gnome you said you met said you could introduce. The gnome you met said you could introduce yourself as his friend to any member of the Starlit Door. You take this as an invitation to join their order, though you are not sure if it's one you can accept. Can members of the King's Guard dabble in the ancient mysteries? You can't imagine that Captain Commander Zalak would approve. Even so, you can't help but wonder what else you could learn from exploring ancient sites and uncovering their secrets. Trolls ally, as you head south, you can't help but worry about the safety of the trolls. They will not find themselves welcome anywhere in Nalos. You befriended enemies of the crown and let them go free. Treason is the legal term for your actions. If anyone ever finds out about your new friendship, you'll be sent to Kulbak prison or the gallows. You return to Sabek that night to find Commander Zalak unimpressed by your failure to retrieve a troll's head. Rest well, he tells you. Tomorrow we march back to war. Conclusion. Just as you are drifting off to sleep in the quiet barracks, Commander Zalak storms back in and calls you to attention. Change of plans, he says grimly. There's been an outbreak of vampirism in Undercity. We need to stop the infection before it gets above ground. Vampirism outbreaks were an ugly sight on the battlefield, you remember. The King's Guard turned on one another and spread the infection while the Dragul cut their way through your ranks. You can only imagine what Undercity looks like tonight, with its encampments of outcasts and thieves clawing at each other's necks. But your duty is clear. With no other soldiers present, you must take up your weapons again and follow Zalak to the gates of Undercity. You may now clean up, each player may now advance your character, clean up the adventure, and save your characters. Alright, that's it. I'm going to do the advancement off screen because that is a fair amount of work, but we've got a ton of, look at how much XP we've got. We got 10 XP. Now, one of the reasons that I did the die limit last time is that it's 5 plus 1 higher than your combat die, so I can raise this to a 5. I love the idea of having a 5 combat dice limit and just being that much more powerful in combat. We also are going to have some gold here to spend. We'll see how that goes. I'm now kind of neutral with everybody except for the Starlit Door, and I've got some items to return, but stuff like that is going to be part of the cleanup. Thank you all so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you back here tomorrow as we go fight some vampires. Ciao, everybody.